spreading our wings in a fresh dream. The wind's at our back as we sail away and wander by wonder as we go. We're already home. It feels like an excellent journey before we begin.
Well, good morning, Mini Path Spiritual Center. Welcome to the sanctuary, and welcome the Sanctuary Band. We are going to start off this beautiful spring morning, this cool spring morning, and enjoy it while we can because it's going to get hot today. We're going to start off by singing a couple of songs back to back. Get our energy up, get our spirits up, and get it raised for a great service today. Reverend Deb Moore has a great lesson for us today. So let's start off with This Door is Open to You, and then wake up this morning with our minds set on spirit. No matter where you come from, no matter where you're going, here's a place where you can stay. Comfort in the knowing that whether if you come to stay a while or you're just passing through, this door is open to you. Come and let's be silent. Come and share a hug. Come, let's pray together. Come love and be loved. From the bus stop to We have a rowdy bunch, Reverend Deb. A rowdy bunch of people in here. And only a few of them are leaving right now. That's right. So we're going to have to see how this goes. We may have to have a monitor in the back writing down names. No, we won't do that. No. We're just going to have a lot of fun. How's that? So welcome to Mini Path Spiritual Center. This is your spiritual interfaith alternative. Alternative. You can tell I've been watching Medea movies. This is your alternative. So whether or not you call God God, or whether you call God Fred, you are welcome here. Your spiritual path is your choice, and we honor your choice. We uphold the truth in all faith traditions here, and we look for that truth with a capital T, which means the truth that transcends the physical world and inhabits the spiritual world. Because for every problem on the face of this earth, there is a spiritual solution. And we, as we walk our spiritual path every day, we are finding those solutions for our lives and finding a way to make this world a better place to live in. And that's why we are here. That's why Mini Path Spiritual Center exists. So we are happy to have you here today. It's springtime at Mini Path, so we got all kinds of stuff going on. Do we have some announcements? I think we do. Hi, Kat.
Good morning. Okay, it's spring. That means it's time to renew your membership to your spiritual community. Every member of MPSC is a valued presence in our spiritual community, and we want to stay connected to you. Please check your email and weekly happenings for a fillable renewal form and email it back. There will also be a hard copy next to the black box marked membership renewal in the front room. The deadline for submission is this week, April 15th, 2026. Thank you for all you do for your spiritual community. The Happy Class meets every Tuesday at 6 p.m. This week's class will feature a joyful fusion of gentle yoga, low-impact dance groove, and uplifting relaxation with sound healing with Jackie. Cost is $20. Sign up at the bulletin board in the front room to claim your happy spot. We will have our membership orientation today after the service. If you're looking for a place to call your spiritual home and a great community to put down roots, please consider deepening your commitment with us. The class will last about an hour and a light lunch will be provided. Please see Ryan or Reverend Deb if you have any questions. Astro Chat with Valerie, Friday, April 17th from 6:30 to 8:30. Next, we'll be exploring Mars, the ruling planet of Aries, as well as Saturn and Neptune, which are also in Aries, and how these transits affect you. Bring your dinner and let's delve into this together. No sign-up needed, but would gladly be appreciated. Want to be of service? Fix, clean, paint, or more? Let's tackle this temple, shine the shrine, and polish this parish up. On Saturday, April 18th from 9 to 1. Be a part of Gay Imps. Grounds and Yard Improving Mini Path Space Workday. We will have a hootenanny. Join us for a special Self-Love Sunday edition Happy Class on April 19th from 1 to 1:45. Then stay to experience and receive energy healing at the Pranic Healing Clinic that will be from 2 to 4. The cost of the Happy Class is $10, and the Pranic Healing Clinic is a love donation. More information and sign-ups at the bulletin board. Sacred Satsang Circle with Reverend Deb, Thursday, April 23rd from 7 to 8:30. Discussion, reflection, and support with spiritual community. And that focus is going to be desires of the heart. Family Happy Class. Join Steph for our first ever Family Happy Class on Sunday, May 3rd at 4. It will be a mindful movement adventure filled with partner yoga and creative play. $5 per participant. Details and signups at the front bulletin board. All activity or meeting links and contact numbers can be found in the weekly happenings email on the Google Calendar, or you can always email the church.
All right, and before we do our centering thought, just wanted to draw your attention to this. This is from today's Sunday Tennessean. It's the portfolio section, which a lot of people just pull this out first and read it first. But within there is an enormous article on our very own Frank Castellano. We're so proud of him. So on your way home, pop in the gas station and get a Sunday Tennessean and read this article. It is so good. That'll save you a $4,000 subscription fee to the Tennessean, because that's what it feels like if you try to sign up. But we're so proud of that. Frank is visiting as Elsie right now in the hospital, so that's where he is. Otherwise, he would be here. Let's do the centering.
Good morning, Mini Pass.
Good morning.
Let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is, intuition is a guide to spiritual understanding. For the spiritual being, intuition is far more than a hunch. It is perceived as divine guidance. It is called intuition because it is found by looking and tuning within. This inner insight is never taken lightly or ignored because it is teaching us from the inside out. When we take time to go within and tune into our higher self, our intuition becomes clear and can teach us what is ours to know. Intuition is understood in many cultures as fundamental to religious and spiritual experience. But consider this: no one can point to God as a material object or describe the physical dimensions of prayer. Worship is inherently an intuitive experience, a spiritualized dialogue between us human beings and what many call the divine. It is also important to remember that people who don't believe in God or aren't sure of God's existence can also have a strong intuition towards something greater, but may experience it in different ways. Whether we call it psychic intuition or a gut feeling, our intuition, especially when combined with prayer and meditation, can lead us down the paths that our lives need to travel to learn the lessons that we need to learn to move us in the direction of spiritual enlightenment. Simply said, listen to your intuition. Now please repeat these affirming statements after me. I am moving into alignment with my inner knowing. I am moving into alignment with my inner knowing. I am open to receiving divine guidance. I am open to receiving divine guidance. I deepen my connection to Spirit, and I discover the unique ways it speaks to me. I deepen my connection to Spirit, and I discover the unique ways it speaks to me. And so it is.
Thank you, Kelly. That was wonderful. All right, let's sing again. We started learning our monthly congregational song, Love Only Knows, last week. Let's see how much of it we remember today. Let's all stand and sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. it is. Please be seated.
Oh my goodness, so good to see everyone this morning. I love that song, and it fits so well with what we're going to be talking about today. Love only knows. Love makes no distinction. No distinction, right? So I want to invite you into a meditative moment with me here. Maybe take a deep breath and let it out. Settle your body into this space. Settle your mind into this moment. Settle your heart in pure presence. We often begin our meditation by setting everything aside. And today, I want to suggest that you set everything aside that you think you know about religion or spirituality or God. Just set it down. Don't worry. It'll be there. You can pick it back up again. No matter what path we're on, no matter what we believe about the divine, when we get still, truly still, when we have moved into the open spaciousness of our spirit, the place where pure presence resides, what we feel is love. Not just a loving feeling or an idea of love, but a love so core that we can clearly see it is what we are made of. So for just a moment, that's all we need. For just a moment, we have no need for a conversion or an enlightenment or a sanctification. All we need is the love we are. Put everything else aside and be with that in the stillness, in the silence. God is love. It was the first truth I was taught in Sunday school. It's the one truth that has never changed. If God is love, then love is God. Love is divine. And it is your birthright. It's in the very spiritual DNA of you. And all we have to do to become aware of it is to still ourselves and let love speak. And so it is.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Always there for you. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Peace I leave with you. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Always there for you. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Peace I leave with
Are you able to be still? Crystal's back there going, no. It's one of the biggest things that folks, say when we talk about meditation is I just can't shut my mind down, or I just can't, still my body or whatever. And that is, I believe, other parts of us trying to distract us. And with practice, over time, with diligence, which is kind of what we're going to talk about today, we learn this very still space within us that becomes available to us instantly when we need it. I went through a period in my 40s, I think it was, where every Sunday afternoon was my spiritual time. And this thing would go on for like 4 or 5 hours. I might meditate for 2 hours solid, then stop and journal for a little while, then do some more meditation, then listen to some music that would really center me. And there was a time where I thought, you could be outside right now, right? You could be outside, you could be doing something else, but somehow something called me and said, no, this time is yours. This time is sacred. This time is communion. And I don't know if that's what it requires for everybody, but I know that that's what it took for me, right? Anything it would have taken would have been worthwhile to know that stillness, right? To know that communion. So we are in the second moon of the year of the fire horse. The moon is waning crescent at 31%, and the moon will go new. It will become new this Friday, April 17th at 7:52 a.m. So if you're up at 7:52 a.m., I'm usually not, but if you're up at 7:52 a.m., we'll get to that later, then say hello to the new moon that has arisen. Last week we talked about the new life of the resurrection, and we asked a question. Are you ready to live a new life? It was a very simple question, but also a very complex question. Because we really want to say, our internal self wants to say yes, emphatically. But then when the stuff that has to happen for that new life comes along, we say, well, not that part. We didn't sign up for that part. Well, no, I'm not going to go meditate for 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon. I'm not signing up for that part. I'll decide what I'm going to do about this, which is fine. That's fine. But I'm not going to do all this other stuff. And that's okay. In the words of the songwriter Karen Drucker, I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. I will only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. Because enlightenment ain't going anywhere. You won't miss your chance, right? There's no rush. There's no rush. There's no pressure. None of that kind of thing. Whether or not you're ready to live a new life, whether or not you are very familiar with that stillness or still trying to achieve it, whether or not you believe in God or not. Last week I was on the campus, and a friend of mine, a colleague of mine, said, "Now what kind of church is that where you minister?" I said, "Well, that's a good question." And then, so we got into it, we were talking a little bit, and she said, "So you have a lot of different kind of people who go there?" I said, "Oh yeah, we have people who love Jesus. We have people who are very Buddhist in their thought process. We have atheists who come to our church." And she said, "Atheist? How can you have atheists come to a church?" I said, "Well, most agnostics, atheists, non-religious people still believe in love. They believe in the human spirit. They believe in doing good. And I guess that's just enough for me." And she was like, "Well, all right, okay, I guess I can see that." So regardless of where you are, what pot you put yourself into, whatever kind of spiritual culture you associate with, there is another question for this week that fits all of us, no matter where we are on the process, no matter what we believe. And that is, what do we do in the meantime? Right? We might want to live a new life. We might be trying to live a new life. We might be thinking a new life is coming. But what do we do in the meantime? So today we're going to be talking about tending sacred ground. Ranchers have this very specific task. I've always heard it referred to as riding fence or riding fences, right? And so it's just a really simple practice. You pack your saddlebags up with fencing tools and materials and probably a Snickers bar, I don't know. And you ride the fence lines of your property to make sure that the boundaries don't have a weak spot. You ride the fence line to make sure your boundaries don't have a weak spot. There's a whole Sunday talk right there. I'm not going down that path right now. So that's a very important task that happens. Whether it's in the heat, in the cold, in the rain, in the snow, in the sunshine, the ranch hand puts on his hat and his coat and his gloves, saddles his most trusty mount, and sets about the very solitary, lonely work of riding the fence and looking for any place that needs to be repaired. It's an ongoing commitment to protect and maintain the lives and the property. So we want to talk about this idea today in both the physical sense and the spiritual sense, both the literal and the figurative. There's a Zen proverb that I probably don't even have to put the words up here for, and many of you know what it is, right? What is it?
Chop wood, carry water.
Yes, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, right? When I think about it, when I was looking at this picture, I thought chopping wood and carrying water have to be two of the most labor-intensive things you can do. It's hard work, right, to chop wood and carry water. And if enlightenment, this thing that we spend 4 hours on a Sunday afternoon meditating to achieve, if after that we still got to chop the wood and carry the water, what's the point? Why do we bother, right? The demands of daily life haven't changed, and that's the beauty of this Zen proverb, that what you have to get up and do every day doesn't change. But the monk has changed. And with spiritual understanding, simple tasks become beautiful, right? What was once drudgery becomes spiritual practice. The person now washing the dishes, as Thich Nhat Hanh talks about, can wash those dishes practicing presence, practicing awareness, practicing intentionality. Everything becomes spiritual practice. So you can search for the things that you've decided would make you happy, or you can tend the ground of happiness within you. So, paths have obstacles at times. We talked a few weeks ago about clearing the way. Just before Easter, we talked about clearing the way. That's always a good, I remember in college I was in Godspell, and there's this song, "Prepare ye the way of the Lord," which I could actually hit those notes in college. But nonetheless, so this idea about clearing the way. But now I want to talk about it not just as an event that we do, or a practice that we do in anticipation of something arriving, but as an ongoing daily practice. No anticipation of anything arriving, right? What is the goal of meditation? There's no goal to meditation. If there's a goal, you're already on the wrong foot, right? I'm just going to be in the stillness. That's all I'm going to do. If something happens, if I get insight, if I get wisdom, fantastic. But once I start putting a goal to it, my ego's gotten involved. So this ongoing spirit, this ongoing task that we have of clearing the way, this is ongoing groundskeeping. And not everything in the ground of your spirit grew there intentionally. Grounds often accumulate things that don't belong there. Fallen branches, dead leaves, right? Trash that blows in from somewhere else. And on the spiritual sense, sometimes we have a lot of stuff lingering in our beingness, like old stories that we've been telling for so long that we've forgotten we even have that story, but it's still on the bookshelf of our spirit, right? Emotional residue, unconscious habits that we've held to for so long. And some of what you're carrying didn't even originate with you. You got maybe some inherited beliefs. I did. Most of us inherited our beliefs. All of us were the culture you were born into, you inherited, and all that culture brought. And you were born into many cultures: the culture of your family, the culture of your region, the culture of your nation, the culture of your religion, all these different cultures that had different expectations that were automatically given to you. Maybe you're still even holding on to that one thing so-and-so said 27 years ago that you can't quite let go of. It still pokes your spirit every now and then, and you remember, is that true about me? Right? And so we have to get rid of the stuff, even if we didn't put it there. When my father was young, he used to tell me this story. And here's the thing. I'm sure that this happened one time because my father probably only needed to be told one time. But he told it to me many times. He said when he was young, he and his brother used to go with their father to go up into the mountains and hunt and fish. This was not a hobby. This was good old East Tennessee, we got to get some meat in the freezer kind of thing, right? And so they would go up into the mountains, and they would put their bedroll on their back, and they would camp out overnight, make a little campfire. And then as soon as they got finished, my grandfather would always pull out a trash bag and said, okay, boys, clean up all the trash you see. And my father and his brother said, but Daddy, we didn't put that trash there. That's not ours. And you know what he said, right? We didn't put it there, but we're taking it out, right? We're taking it. I learned conservation and eco-awareness from my good little dyed-in-the-wool conservative NRA card-carrying father, right? Who taught me to appreciate the land. So for the rest of his life, every time I went hiking with my father, he always had a trash bag. And one of the last times I went with him, it was probably about a year before he died. I was in front of him. We were on a trail in East Tennessee, and we were kind of on the edge of a ravine, and there's this like drop down about 25 feet to a creek down there, a creek. I don't know what creek, whatever it is. So so we're walking along. I'm in front of him, and all of a sudden I hear him say, hold on a minute, babe. And by the time I got turned around, he's halfway down that ravine. Now, he was like 69, 70 years old at this point, halfway down that ravine. And at first I thought, did he fall? What's going on? But then I see him scrambling like a little mountain goat, doing what he does, going all the way down to the bottom there. And I'm thinking, I hope he can get himself out because I can't get him out. And he gets all the way down to the bottom, to the edge of the creek, and he picks up an old Mountain Dew bottle, and he sticks it in his pocket. And he clambers back up, and he has to pull on trees and hold on to them and get himself up. He gets back up to the edge, and he's huffing and puffing and everything, and he comes up to me, and he says, that didn't belong there. Right? That didn't belong there. You may not have created all the clutter and the chaos that you may experience, but it still doesn't belong there, and you can take it out. You have the power to remove it. It may not be easy. You might end up huffing and puffing a little bit, but if it doesn't belong there, get it out. I've already started with planting this season, and it doesn't matter how early I get out into my yard, the weeds beat me, right? The weeds always beat me. And you know what weeds are, right? Huh? What? They're plants, exactly. Weeds are just plants. They're regular plants growing where you don't want them to grow. So weeds are just misplaced growth, right? Just misplaced growth. I've got a couple of weeds that keep coming back in one little patch, one little flower patch I've got. So finally I use my Google camera to say, who are you, sucker? Right? And one of them was sarsaparilla. Is that? Sarsaparilla? Yeah, something like that. It's got an R in it. Anyway, never mind. All right, the other one was chamomile. Chamomile looks like a weed, right? Like it grows up. It looks like a little bitty daisy flower kind of growing off of it. Like people grow these things. It's just misplaced growth. And the spiritual translation of that is that sometimes we have coping mechanisms that once helped. They were growth for a time, and now we don't need them anymore. They don't need to grow in this garden. We talked about this a little bit Thursday night at the book club, about the idea that sometimes we come up with little tricks to play in order to make ourselves move through something with more emotional regularity or get our mind right about something. But sometimes those tricks are ways to get our ego to fix the problem that our ego created, right? And so I think they're good, nothing wrong with them. But that idea of going into the stillness, the whole point is, let me get to the point where my ego is not given the job of solving this anymore, right? My ego doesn't do that. Something doesn't work anymore. Identities that once protected us, that we now know are not the true identity of us. We want to be our true selves. Patterns that no longer serve. Sometimes it's hard to let go of those. We've become attached. They worked so beautifully for a time, and we don't want to let go of them. But we have to unattach. You could try having like a little retirement party for those old identities. Wouldn't that be? Yeah. Give it a watch. Tell it thank you. But you're not on the payroll anymore, right? You're going to have to go off into retirement. You're not on the payroll. So weeds are what grows when we're out of alignment, and pulling them is not punishing. It's not punishment. It's realignment. It's a spiritual act of realigning. Let me get pure again. And then, of course, we have to tend the actual soil itself. I saw a guy this week, a video of a guy who said, "Watch me build my soil." And I'm like, that's a strange sentence. Just because of that, I have to watch it. And so he started with this kind of raised bed, and he started on the bottom. It's like 2 feet deep, and on the bottom he had limbs, branches, all this stuff. And then he put different, I don't know what all he put, all these different kinds of layers of stuff to make soil that was actually like vital. It would bring life. I just learned this past week, anybody tried every single meal delivery service on the planet like me? Okay, yeah. So now it's Hungry Root. That's the one I'm on right now, all right? Yeah. And I just learned this past week that the little thing that goes in the gel pack that keeps it cold, thank God, a Hungry Root they put on the bag there, you can use that as plant food. It's got nitrogen and potassium in it. Yeah. So I let it thaw. That ice pack, I let it thaw. I just cut off the edge. I just went and put a little bit on all my plants. The directions are on there if you get that. Yeah, check it out. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, soil needs tending. It's not just dirt, right? We tend the soil with silence and rest and presence and body awareness because the body's always trying to reconnect us. Because we don't actually grow the garden. We create the conditions in which growth happens, and that's why we meditate by clearing out space. We create the conditions in which awareness happens. Awareness doesn't happen when we're packed down with all the worries of the world. Awareness doesn't happen when we're carrying every idea we've ever had with us. Awareness happens when we tend the soil and we make the space. This is very wu-wei. Remember that Taoist concept of effortless action. Not force, not control, but cooperation with life. It's so much easier that way. Right? This guy almost looks like he's praying, doesn't he? And it brings to mind an Emerson quote I first read about 28 years ago or so. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "The prayer of the farmer kneeling in his field to weed it, the prayer of the rower kneeling with the stroke of the oar are true prayers heard throughout nature." And the beauty of that is I only had to hear it once, just like my father probably only had to hear once. Right? Only here once. We might not put it there, but we're going to take it out. And it becomes a lesson for generations, right? That's how much influence you have on children in your life, by the way. That one statement can become a lesson for generations. But every time since I've read that, every spring when I kneel down to dig in the dirt, I think of it as a prayer because of Emerson. I'm not weeding or planting. I'm praying. And all of this is well and good, except I don't want to get out of bed, right? I told you I like to sleep in, right? I may not be up for 7:52 a.m. on Friday for the new moon. The older I get, the more I become like my 18-year-old self. I could sleep till noon if nothing wakes me up. Like, I could just sleep in, and I'm letting myself when it happens, when I can. Right? But here's the thing about groundskeeping, whether it's literal or whether it's figurative, whether it's spiritual or whether it's material, you actually have to do it. You have to do it. So at book club this past Thursday, Steph's book club, she's calling this the Daylight Savings Time book club. But we're looking at the book, The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. I know there's been some controversy around this book, but I'm going to pass right by that and just let you know that the essence of it is very good stuff. It's basically Buddhism. Margie says it's basically Al-Anon, right? Basically Buddhism. It's let people go, unattach, let it go. But in the very entryway, the entryway, in the front door of the book. So Mel Robbins reminds us of the way that we all first heard about Mel Robbins, and that was the 5-second rule, and how she went through a period where she couldn't get out of bed, she couldn't get up and do anything, and how important action is, the power of just getting yourself moving. And so she started this 5-second rule, where she would literally count backwards from 5, like a countdown, like Artemis 2 is getting ready to lift off, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're up, right? And I know if I get myself out of bed, as much as I love to wallow in the bed in the morning, which is like the essence of luxury to me, is bed wallowing in the morning. But as much as I love that, if I get up and get moving, the momentum carries me. And Mel Robbins says this, here's why it works. Counting backward requires focus and snaps you out of autopilot, giving you just enough of a push to get going. It helps you power through fear, doubt, or procrastination. Every time you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like tipping the first domino. Momentum kicks in and boom. You're no longer thinking about what you need to do, you're already doing it. And the best part, once you start moving, it's way easier to keep going. And we know that, right? My mother always said, I'm going to put it on her tombstone one day, get up and move around, you'll feel better. Because that I was never allowed to stay home sick from school. I was allowed to stay home sick from school, but I had to have a really good argument. Groundskeeping requires action. And it's often not very sexy. It goes unnoticed, right? It's repetitive. It's stuff you have to do every day. Just like taking care of your yard, I always like to say those are the jobs where nobody notices if you've done them, but they notice if you haven't, right? And when it comes to our spiritual life, we may not notice so much what meditating every day or being in a practice does, but we'll start to notice when we don't do it, right? It'll start to creep back in. So it requires action. You don't need to control where your life is going. You just stay faithful to whatever's in your hands. Now, I got to tell you folks, I had already planned this talk. This is not like, ooh, let's talk about this because it fits. This talk was already planned, and I was going to talk about groundskeeping as a metaphor. But last week, it stopped being a metaphor. So for those of you who don't know, and I believe Elsie may be watching. Everybody say hello to Elsie and Frank. I think they're watching. Hey. Last week after service, a congregant of ours, Elsie, fell in the parking lot. And she has a fracture in her pelvic bone. She's got a long recovery ahead. She was walking on the flattest part of our parking lot, and she mentioned that she needs some new shoes, and she had a lot of stuff in her hands, right? And all that being said, here's the part we have to be honest about. We've known. We've known about the potholes. We've known that the parking lot needed attention. We've been talking about it for a long time. Now, I want to continue to keep the focus both on the material and the spiritual. So, using that parking lot and moving that inside, what unhealed part of you are you fully aware of that becomes obstacles others have to deal with? Sometimes the care we don't take becomes the debris on another's path. We say this not with shame or blame, but with a sense of deep responsibility, a sense of deep stewardship. With your own spiritual potholes and weeds, that stewardship looks like no more denial, unfiltered honesty with myself. You know, the person we lie to the most is ourself, right? We go in and we arrange the story in the way that makes us look like the victim or the hero, one or the other, but never the villain. And sometimes we're the villain. We may not have meant to be, right? We may not have intended it. Unfiltered honesty, doing the work, maintaining your practice, not just desiring peace, but nurturing it, fertilizing it, intentionally planting it, saying, I want to know if I'm not the one bringing peace to this situation. I want to know and I want to fix it, right? I want to know if I'm the one tripping other people up. I want to know and I want to shift that. Shared stewardship in our community looks like transparency, which I think we do pretty well, right? Here we are, transparency. It looks like having honest conversations about who we are as a community, who we want to be. It's about problem solving in a way that requires our engagement without constantly thinking that someone else will handle it. Now, the good thing about this community is you look around twice and someone else probably has handled it, right? But if we start from the aspect of, hey, maybe I need to be the someone else sometimes. Maybe I can be the someone else. The parking lot isn't a case of fault. We bought it this way. But now that we have it, it becomes about care. Right? Because here's the thing. We're not just here to talk about love. We're here to make love our infrastructure. Spiritually and materially. Spiritually, it comes in the forms of safety, accessibility, and welcome. Materially, it comes in the forms of safety, accessibility, and welcome. A well-tended space says you matter enough for us to prepare the way for you. And in many traditions, preparing sacred space is sacred practice. It's spiritual practice. In Zen, sweeping the temple is spiritual practice. In India, you'll find people around all the Hindu temples sweeping. And it's like offering service. It's an offering to the temple. In monastic tradition, Christian tradition, labor is prayer. And I learned a word this week from the Jewish tradition, the Hebrew word avoda. I think I'm saying that correctly. Maybe I'm not. Avoda, A-V-O-D-A-H. And it means work, and it means service, and it means worship, all at the same time. And it originally referred to the labor of the priests in the temple, but it has come over time to mean the work of the heart and the work of the hands, that which we do in prayer and in daily life, in spiritual practice and taking care of business. Thus, tending the very ground we walk on becomes spiritual practice. How lucky for us that we have a community work day coming up. Next Saturday isn't just a work day. It's spiritual practice. It's an opportunity for alignment as a community. It's us saying we will tend what has been left untended. We may not have $10,000 to fix the parking lot right now. And we'll talk about that over time because I think it needs to become a big priority, and this is not a business meeting, but I think spiritually it needs to become a big priority for us. But we're not powerless just because we don't have the $10,000. Groundskeeping doesn't begin with having everything, it begins with showing up. And we show up in whatever way we can. Some of us can't be here on Saturday, that's completely understood. There's no expectation, right? There's no expectation. Hey, look, we don't take roll for spiritual practice. You either want to do it or you're doing it somewhere else, right? Some of us can't be here, that's fine. Some of you may be only able to come for an hour, that's fine. I'm going to be here about 9-ish, and I'm going to stay until that office looks like a space where humans actually function. And every single person who's here, every time they're pulling weeds, they're going to be releasing that inner clutter and cleaning spaces. They're going to be clearing out consciousness and working together. We heal stress through connection. You know what? It's not any one person's job to do anything around here. But all of us together have many hands make light work, right? And we have also not just many hands, but an abundance of wisdom. An abundance of people with problem-solving abilities. And what feels heavy alone becomes lighter together because sometimes what we don't tend hurts someone. Right? Why, looky there. We all like pretty, don't we? We love pretty. I would love to walk into that building every Sunday. Look at that. All the landscaping, new lighting, painted brick, a new roof, a nice little walkway around. I mean, my gosh, that's precious. I love the building that we have. What a gift this has been for this community. It really has. But wow, what it could be. Right? And let's take that back inside. I love the oneness with God I've experienced thus far, but wow, what it could be. I love communing with the divine, but wow, what it could be. I love being in community with people who have the same heart for love and peace and freedom, but wow, what it could be. Let's never let go of that. That's why love, faith, hope, and love, the greatest of these is love, but hope's in there, my God. Hope's in there, right? And what we can hope for, that energy of hoping for something that is improved, bigger, better. Where in my life have I known that something needed tending and I waited? Karma teaches us that small actions accumulate. We may not be able to wiggle our nose and have this. We may not be able to wiggle our nose and have pure love and expansive spaciousness inside as the meeting ground for communion with my divine nature. But I can know that every moment is participation. Every postponement even is participation. We cannot not show up in our own lives. So we either show up ready to go, or we avoid both of those as an action that sends a message to spirit, that sends a message to the universe, right? So we're preparing this whole year for something powerful. This fire horse energy says this is a year of transformation, a year of big stuff happening, but the ground does not prepare itself. So we clear and we tend and we repair and we clean, not just for beauty, but so no one is tripped up where we could have made a path, right? Because love tends the ground we walk and heals the places where others may stumble. That's what love does. We already do this in so many ways. This is not a sermon as much as it is a reflection and maybe even a moment of self-congratulation, just a little bit. The way that this community gathered around Elsie last weekend, for those of you who were here, it was a powerful moment. I wish it hadn't happened for Elsie's sake, but the way so many moved right into the situation, engaged in what was happening, did what was in our wheelhouse to do. It brought up something different for each one of us. Some of us relived our own past traumas. Some of us went into helper mode. Some of us found a kind of purpose we might have been asking for in life. Some of us took care of the logistics. Some grabbed pillows and yoga mats. That was a good call. Some of us knelt on the ground. April actually knelt on the ground and let Elsie lay her head in her lap the entire time. Elsie didn't even realize that was April behind her until we told her later. And what I love so much is that each of us was driven by internal motivations, the spiritual work we've already done, the willingness to be part of the solution, the love you've already nurtured. I was so dang proud of us last week, and not in a go with before a fall kind of way, right? I'm talking about in a way of just acknowledgement that we know who we are and we stepped into that without hesitation. We showed up for each other. This is community, an intentional community of people who share the values of love and peace and freedom, who honor each other's path rather than judging it, who naturally and immediately put into practice the love that we claim. We're doing that. And that's better than any new paint job. But maybe we can have both. Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Deb. I love the fact that Reverend Deb is not afraid to challenge us, right? Sometimes a group responds well to a challenge and throw out the gauntlets. Let's see what we can do here, you know. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We appreciate you spending your time with us today, and we love to give back to this community. And you know, as she was talking, that reminds us of what we teach here, and the fact that the way that we give back is through our time, our talents, and our treasures. The time that we come and spend together on Sunday mornings, the time that we spend together when we come and renew our bodies on Tuesdays, we renew our minds on Thursdays, and we renew our spirit on Sundays. That's the way that we have set this center up to work, because it's all about aligning that body, mind, and spirit. And so that's how we do it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. How about that for a marketing ploy, right? All right. So that's the way we're setting things up. So we come and give of our time. We come and give of our talents. Perfect example right here. Giving of our talents, because everybody has something to give back to the community, right? Everybody does. We have education. We have experiences that we can all bring into the community. And then we give of our treasures, too, which is a portion of whatever financial gifts we can give, right? And we do that by putting in the blue vase back there. We've got a new QR code back there that actually says Mini Pass instead of our old name, which is a good thing, right? Yeah, we've updated that. It's right here. Oh. I will send that to you. Yeah, I just generated that a few days ago, so yeah. Sometimes you look around and you go, oh, well, that needs to be done. And I'm the one that says, if I see it, I do it, right? So if we give back of our time, talents, and treasures, all will be well within this spiritual community. And it'll be a beautiful thing to behold when it unfolds, right? So thank you so much for doing that. All right. If we've got nothing else, don't forget about Saturday coming back and helping us out with things. We'll have a list of stuff to do for you, and you can just grab whatever you want to do and get her done, right? All right. Let's stand up and say our closing prayer together, the meta prayer of loving kindness. Daphne?
Okay, everyone. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe from inner and outer dangers. May I be healthy in body and mind. May I find peace and be truly happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be safe from inner and outer dangers. May you be healthy in body and mind. May you find peace and be truly happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be safe from inner and outer dangers. May all beings be healthy in body and mind. May all beings find peace and be truly happy. And so it is.
We are one. We are one with God and one with each other. Everyone we meet is a sister and brother. You be you, I'll be me. We're all members of one family. Live in harmony, harmony. We are a part. All that we see, live in harmony, harmony. We can be different and still live in harmony. We are one with God and one with each other. Everyone we meet is our sister and brother. You be you, I'll be me. We're all members in one family. Live in harmony, harmony. We are a part. All that we see, live in harmony. we'll see you later on in the week.